Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and turtle ages. My name is Evil Dragon. I haven't done that for a while. I've kidnapped Jess, and I'm now doing her job, and she's doing my job. Welcome along to League of Europe. Welcome along to round number 5, 6, one of the three. I don't know. What round are we on? We are round 8 here at Paul Ricard here. For what is going to be a great thing. The 10th is not the 10th of September, whoever read that. It is definitely not the 10th of September, guys. It's the 17th of September, so someone's done the graphic wrong. Naughty, naughty. But, welcome, of course, here for the lovely season, the League of Europe. We're in Division 3, 6:30 as well. Don't forget the other tiers are all live as well. And don't forget 8:10 BST, the other tiers, which is 4 and 2. I'm going to say 4 and 2. Or is it 4 and 1? One of the three. I can't remember off the top of my head. This is probably why Jess does the intros, because I'm just going off what I normally do historically here at Paul Ricard, a lovely, beautiful place. But joining me, as you probably can guess, is me, Evil Dragon X. It's Jess. She's joining me. Say hello, Jess.
Hello everybody, and welcome along to Le Castellet in Paul Ricard, first host of the Formula 1 race back in 1971. The first Grand Prix race, which not in F1 of course, was back in 1906. The first Formula 1 race of the French Grand Prix was back in 1950. It hosted many Grand Prix in the past, and we are looking forward to seeing how this one develops. Now, we are back to doing the sprint race format. It is upon us. The USA was done a while back with this, so France is going to be the second one. So for those of you that don't remember how this is all going to work, we're about to start with one-shot qualifying, so the drivers only have one lap to get it right. If they invalidate, which is quite common around this track, then they're not going to do very well. Then it's a 50% sprint, which I think is around about 9 laps. Points for top 10 from 10 down to 1. And then it's a 50% Grand Prix with normal points from first down to 12th place. Now, we know how crazy the last sprint race went, Evil. I wonder how crazy this race is going to go down as well. Will we see some wet weather? Maybe, because with sprint races, they don't have to stop.
Yeah, they don't have to stop, of course, but changeable conditions, always a possibility. Rain here in France is a very... Oh, see? I was about to say very present. Guess what? It's raining. It's pouring. It's absolutely miserable. I love it. I love when this happens. And now, if your name is Mr. Kamke, make sure you have your setup. Because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. Though saying that, last time we did that, he still won the race. Of course, that was at the United States. That was at Kota.
Yes.
As well, the last time we had that. But around Paul Ricard, 15 corners of what has been one of the most interesting tracks on board with Slayer. Then as he comes down towards turn 1, that is the Varani corner. Of course, someone break it down there about 50-meter board, chuck it into turn 1, and go straight off the road. So let's go on board with Chill, because we'll just go and find whoever's at the front, if the game lets me. That's Ryan up front. Then as he comes down into turn 3, that's the Hottle corner. Into 4, which is no name. Very easy to get these corners wrong. Into 5, into the camp corner, of course. That's all the camps are on the outside of the circuit. Into centre bar out then. Turn number 6, then of course into 7, the Mistral corner, then down of course the Mistral straight, separated of course by a chicane, which is a little bit further down at the road. By the way, you're wondering, on this circuit, it has undergone quite a lot of changes. We'll talk about that later on, but of course that is in due course. Down then into 8 and 9, that is the Monstral chicane, one of 165 million layouts on this circuit. Through the chicane they come, of course, which in most other series that they do not use, but in Formula 1 they use it for safety reasons. Down into Schigner's corner, then the fast right-hander Ayrton Senna had a big off here back in 1987. In then into Basalt corner, and very easy again this corner to over-rotate the car to have the rear end step out on you. Looked relatively good there. There is a little bit of a twitch on the rear out into Bendor corner, turn 12, down into second gear on the exit of that. Build the revs up into 13, into the Garbaland corner, and then of course into 14, then down into 15. It's into Lack. Watch out for that pit lane entry. Very easy to go off the track, get a penalty down there. Into the last corner, into Pont. And so far for Ryan, looking like it's going to be around 6th position, but the other Ryan looks like he might be on pole position. Across the line, a few people improving. Ryan then's going to get up to 4th, but it's Ryan. Oh, he's down in 7th all of a sudden. But it's Ryan B on pole. Ghost in 2nd. Jasper from Pace. Then we got MCR. Matty, Ryan, Melty. Chris, Cam, Wowster, Harry, Lady, Major, Slayer, Matt Tibbles, Chill, Mick, and Marty. Not got a lap time in yet, but that's a really decent first lap. And in the pouring rain, then here in France, it looks like it's going to be one heck of a race.
Yes, indeed. So those are your qualifying results, and it was quite a big gap between first and last place at the moment due to the fact that it was raining and not many people had a chance to put their setup on because someone readied up too early. So we've got Ryan B on pole, Ghost in second. Ryan B, of course, has won a race this season. Past Jasper, then we got Passe, who's making his return to Division 3. Good to have him back. We got MCR Matty, Ryan Belshaw, Melty, Chris, Cam in your top 10. Mr. Valter, Harry F, Aledi, Major, Slayer, Matt Tibos, Shill, Mick, Marty, and Nanstram. Apart from Passe, I think everybody else is full time. Valter might be reserved, but I don't know. But that is great to see. Now, we won't have time to talk about the standings. Actually, no, we will talk about the standings quickly as they head into the, setup, change their setups a little bit for tyre pressures and stuff. So, I believe, I'm trying to remember who won last week. Have you got the standings up?
No.
That means I'm just worried because I've got the wrong image probably there as well. Yeah, who knows what's going on because I was trying to find the ones for my own at the moment. So I will ask, but it was Cam that was leading last week, but it was now Chris that is leading this week. Chill in second on 83, Cam in third on 80, Mick in fourth on 74 after his win last week, MCR fifth, and then we got Bode, Marty, Ryan B, Pastor Jasper, and then we've got Harry F, your top 10. So those are your standings. And we are about to head into the formation lap.
Won last week.
It was the right image. I thought so. I was doubting myself.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much as well.
Now, Jess, the most crucial thing here today is, if you are in France, live snails must have a ticket to ride high-speed trains. That is the most crucial fact.
I did not believe him at first until he told me like a few weeks ago.
Yes, it is a true fact. I'm not making this up. According to French law, it is against the law to carry live snails on a high-speed train in France without having their own ticket. Well, to be fair, it's not just that, it's any domesticated animal under 5 kilograms. But snails, of course, being France, they had to write that is on the official French website, so you're welcome. As well, by the way, the croissant was actually invented in Austria in the 13th century, so I'm going to ruin all your childhood. Well, unless you're born in the 13th. Cam might be born in the 13th century. He's lived through the entirety of America, so he is quite old. But of course, the croissant, invented in Austria, not in France. Terrible news as well. The world's highest mountain in Europe, that is, of course, Mont Blanc, of course. Pretty well, tragically known for the Mont Blanc disaster. Talking of disasters, Ryan and Melty both been disqualified, so
yeah, that's not good at all for them being disqualified before the race has even begun. But I'm looking at the tyres as Evil is dying in the background. I'm looking at tyres and everybody is on the medium tyres. Now, don't forget, they don't have to pit.
To the end.
Yeah, they don't have to pit for their mandatories. They can stay out, and that is not a problem at all. So we're about to get underway then for 9 laps of the French Grand Prix, and it can go by pretty quickly. So I will hand it over to Mr. Evil Dragon to cover the start. And we got the Ferrari livery this week as well. I get to run it later, and I'm very excited.
Well, yeah. Last car on the grid, Jess. Naram Sam at the back, Ryan at the front. The 2 Alpines hoping for a good result then with 5 red lights then for the French Grand Prix. Look, but never stare because it's going to be Bon Voyage then here in France in the Castellet. Good start then from Ryan. What about Ghost? He comes alongside then. He is slightly pulling alongside. Front right to rear left then, but he can't get it alongside though. Down into turn number 1 then, the Ferrari looking up the inside. A few other cars making manoeuvres there. One of the Alpines there dropping back then. That might have been Melty. It's certainly an AlphaTauri having a mistake there. That must have been Passe then going around then. at the back then, so 19th position then. So the AlphaTauri having trouble. One of another yellow flag there at the back. That might have been Slayer and caught up in that as well. But Ryan B's got a good start then away then from Ghost. Then comes Jasper from MCR. Matty up into 5th position there. Ryan there. Cam going up 1 and 2 positions looks like as well. As further down the field we've got the Alpine there of Melty trying to get past Melty, of course, who missed last week, of course, hoping for his sake that the French curse doesn't go and bite another cherry then. Through he comes, try and get around the outside, can't quite do it there, and he'll sit back then. Further down, Matt Tibbos, of course, who had rotten luck last week, making up a position as well as he goes up into 12th. Past Mr. Wowster, Mick down into 18th, as you alluded to, Jess, has not had the start they have needed to at the beginning of this race. And here at the Castle, of course, the French Grand Prix, first hosting a race back in 1971. Missed a few of it, of course, up after about 1992, I think it was the last time they ran here. Came back, of course, in 2018 as
outside, and he's walked turn 12, and he's got well, he covered off the outside really because Matt Tibbles tried to go for the attack there as well. And for some people, though, they won't be driving too aggressive around here because if you have a bad sprint race, as Marty is in, so he's got damage. But if you have a bad sprint race, then that is where you're going to be qualifying for the 50% race starting in not very long, actually. So they've really got to put their heads together. Some people will be just making sure they get their car to the end.
Chris, Jess, looking up the inside.
Almost touching MCR there, going in towards turn 6 as well. Now, bearing in mind, this corner can pick up a lot of track invalidations and penalties. So watch out for track limits tonight. I think we're going to sort of see a lot of black and white flags for quite a lot of people tonight. Not as much in the sprint race. The Nan-Tram is off.
Yep, into the wall then goes the Haas as he got damage. It certainly looked like he might have done from Wingsgob. So 2 Haasses then in trouble this afternoon, but it's Ghost. It's Ryan B leading from Ghost. Jasper not too far behind that.
Oh, Melty!
You know, I mentioned the French earlier on and saying that hopefully they'll have a good race. Well, Melty having an issue. He's dropped it. They've been contactless. Very possible then around this circuit. Easy to do. Matt Tibble stuck behind Aledi as well in the other Alpine. But meanwhile, Ghost and Jasper going to battle then as they come down in towards the back end of this circuit. The outside of the Ferrari, the inside of the McLarens. They come down into 14 and 15. The Ferrari now, Jasper up then into 2nd position. End of lap 2 then, coming on to the beginning of lap number 3. It's the Ferrari, the Scuderia then, of course, embezzled with the beautiful Ferrari logo. The historic Ferrari logo, of course, which you most famously remember back from the 90s. Late 80s, early 90s, you'll remember it from. That back on the car. Hopefully it stays on the car because I will admit it looks absolutely gorgeous. Ghost in 3rd, Matty in 4th. Then comes Chris, MCR from Ryan. Cam, then Matt Tibos, they're stuck down in 11th position. Remember, of course, top 12 score points.
Top 10.
I believe, though, in the sprint, it is only the top 10. I think it's 10 down to 1, if I remember correctly, for the points. So he needs to overtake Aledi to get that said point. Meanwhile, Cam, of course, I believe not leading the drivers because that is Chris.
Cam's in 3rd on 80.
Yes. He is up front though. Jasper, a bit twitchy up front now. Tried to get past Ryan, but it didn't quite work.
No, it didn't look like it, did it? As meanwhile, the other Ferrari, Chill, of Mick, trying to fend off Chill, but couldn't quite work. Meanwhile, yellow flag.
Naram-Sam going off
once again.
Meanwhile,
there's quite a lot going on. Matt Tibbles eventually got past the Letty there, up to 10th place. So at the moment, he's going to score some points. This is the home of the Alpine car as well, which actually they do their F1 driving experiences around here as well. And a very well-known Twitch streamer managed to drive in an F1 2012 car around there with Alpine branding, which was a
former Lotus. Oh, off goes that's Major. That's a major spin for Major. As he drops it around, of course, the Alpine team, of course, which is more commonly the Enstone team, of course, situated, well, in Enstone, in the United Kingdom, of course, has beautiful ties, of course, well, pretty much is tied to France, of course, used to be Renault and Lotus, and then before that, Benetton, then it was Alfa Romeo, so it gets a bit confusing after a while when you realise Alfa Romeo's on the grid. It really does, doesn't it? But, of course, former Brabham team, of course, as well. Which one? Two constructors, well, two drivers' titles, and I think one constructors. 1994 didn't win 95, because that was Williams. Of course, Michael Schumacher taking his first of what would be 7 world drivers' titles. Maybe been 8 had he not had, of course, his legs break, of course, at the British Grand Prix 1999.
Chris got past Ghost.
Yep, Chris passed Ghost then, so those two switching around. That might have been a bit more thing. Meanwhile, Matty getting past Jasper as the Mercedes there passing the Ferrari. The Ferrari going to try stick it around the outside. Down into Shing's corner, might try up the inside into Basson. It's going to be brave stuff then. The Ferrari then should be able to get it then in towards turn 11. Try and squeeze him out, but the outside line's going to work. They bang wheels down on the exit of turn 11. Down into 12, into Bendel there, and Matty there, a very audacious and beautiful move right around the outside that the Ferrari couldn't do anything, but it's not over yet. Remember, DRS very powerful around here, but Matty has DRS on Ryan B, so he should be able to hold that line right now. Let's see that down they come towards turn 1. Jasper a little bit twitching the rear end, behind them the 2 McLarens. Let's see up front. Matty looks like he has got the line, he has the pace, and the Ferrari demoted then officially down into third. The 2 McLarens line astern. Then comes MCR, followed suit by Ryan Cab. Matt Tibos now up into 9th then, promoted after that spin earlier on. Talking of that spin, there is Major again off the road.
He's not having a good race, is he? Neither is Nantram and Marcy. Actually, both the Alfa Romeos are having rubbish races. It's a big theme for the Ferrari-powered cars, isn't it? The only Ferrari-powered car that's in the points right now is Jasper, chasing down the 2 Mercedes. Now, that is going to be an interesting fight. When was the last time we saw Ferrari battle the 2 Mercedes? Well, I don't know. Ryan B has let Matty through, it looked like.
This year.
Was that team orders for Mercedes there? 'Cause it looked like Ryan B did not fight it too much.
Matty's the higher in the championship, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan B not, but to answer your question, Jess, it was...
Ryan B is ahead of Matty in the championship.
Maybe we made a mistake. Oh, outside line, that's contact. Oh, there's a big off. Ferrari, Mercedes, contact. It was always going to happen there. The outside line not going to work. And Jasper's, well, hopes there a Red Bull off there. Is that, who's that Mr. Wowster off as well?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, 3 title favourites, 3 title chargers in trouble. Then Melty also getting involved there. Contact with the side of Slayer. But all of a sudden, drama then here in here in France. Well, Viva la Revolution for the championship, because all of a sudden, Chris has been given more points to him. Now up to second, his rivals then stumbling down. His nearest rival, I think, on the circuit right now is Cam, down in 6th.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be good news for Chris. Bad news if you're Ryan B. And I believe, I'm just trying to remember, so the stewards, they still do investigate these sprint races as well. But I'm not sure if he gets added to the sprint race, the penalties, or the actual race itself. I will need to double check. I'm sure there's stewards in the chat or someone who was sure before and not could confirm that as well. That would be great to see as well. As we're on lap 6 of lap 9 already. Time just fly by if you're having fun. So not much time for people to get a move on. It looks like Cam has got a setup this time for today's race, which is great to see, because he is pushing like a madman at the moment. He's chasing down Ryan Belshaw on MCR as well. Ryan B's making his way back up, as well as Mick. We've got Ryan Belshaw trying to go down the inside of MCR in turn 9. He does it. He makes the move sick. He's having a good race so far. And he's not in the top 10 in the championship, but he really wants to climb up a little bit.
Oh, it's almost happened twice, Jess. Sorry to cut over you there. Ryan B, contact with Mick. Same position, same contact that happened with Jasper. The Mercedes driver there, for whatever reason, not giving much space on the exit Sheen corner, almost forces the Ferrari, like earlier on, off. The Ferrari's going to try and come back there, Mick up the inside, and that's just going to work. They won wheels then as they come into the last corner, and that's the outside line for the Ferrari. Is he going to get the space? He should have DRS, he should have the slipstream off the 2 cars ahead then, so Biana walks back ahead. Indeed he does. Matt Tibos there dropping down a position as all carnage goes on ahead then. Ryan B from MCR from Camaletti. Matt Tibos then. The line from 4th downwards. Then comes this squabble then for Harry, Chill, Mick and Ryan. But yeah, the conduct there with Mick and Ryan. Same exact position, same exact manner that happened between Ryan and Jasper. So, don't do it twice, is the infamous words I once said, and they very much did almost do it twice. Somehow avoided a major incident. Mr. Wowster picked up a 3-second time penalties. The Ferrari now trying to challenge and try and get past the AlphaTauri of Chill, but Chill using some of his power he's got in that car. Up front, Cam and Aledi going side by side. That is Cam now up into 6th position, making as well. He's back into 6th position. That must have been Aledi trying to challenge up front. Lee starting the battle then between Chris and Marty then. Matty then, the top 2 in this race. McLaren versus Mercedes. Chill battling with Harry down in 9th and 10th position right now, and those two just switching and swapping around now and then. But up front, Matty, he's doing a good job trying to win this race. But Chris right now needs to be circumspect about trying to make an overtake. Does not want to end up chopping his nose off.
That is a good point, Lee, and that is definitely a very good point, because you do not have that long to try and attempt for a move as well. But would you tactically go in second for the race later on and go for that cheeky turn, or would you want one extra point that your rival is not going to get? It's very, very hard to judge, but if you're on a championship fight, you're going to take every advantage you can get, because obviously we're halfway through the season, so many rounds to go, and there's not going to be any more sprint race formats until Abu Dhabi, the last race of the season, so they've got to make the most of it, as Chris now is going to have DRS, and one of them's going to challenge him as Melty. His day's gone from bad to worse. He's got another 3 seconds
Chris, sorry to cut over you.
Chris is going for the move. He's got it. He's got the move on lap 8 of 9, heading towards turn 8.
Oh, but Matty almost into the rear end there. Broke so late there, and that almost really cost Chris there the opportunity. That was kind of what he was gambling on not happening. Almost certainly happened there, but Matty, that's cost him dearly then. If he was a bit more cautious, he could have came back at him, but straight attack. But look at this train jets from 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, really. All the way down then. So quite a big battle really from 3rd, isn't it now? So
yeah.
Ghost then kind of holding the field up. Another lap of this race then here in France for the sprint race before we head towards the feature. And on front it is Chris now leading. MCR ahead of Cam, who's just sitting back right now. Is trying to attack but can't do it too much. Jasper picks up a time penalty. He's had a torrid time this afternoon. Had that incident earlier on, of course, which very much is going to be potentially under steward's investigation. We don't know about that from now, but it could be if he wants to report it. Meanwhile, can't quite do it down into turn 1. The Williams there holding line and helping the Aston Martin to dear effect. The Red Bull just can't get past. Meanwhile, last attacks then for Matty. If he wants to get this victory, he needs to be about 6 to 5 tenths gap. He's just over 6 tenths of a second. Has got a lot more ERS than his rivals, so he's going to have to go defensive. Is Chris then? He knows he's coming. Is Matty going to take a lunge then? It's going to be audacious. Thinks better of it. Is he going to try and get a bit of an exit out of here then? Down into Shing's corner. I don't think so right now. He's a little bit too far back, but he's going to try and burn as much ERS as possible. Are we going to see a last lap attack then? Which way is he going to go? Outside or inside? He's going to go for the inside line then. Let's see. The Ramsden is out of this race, but Matty then trying to go for the lead then here in the French Grand Prix. Last lap of this race. Can he do it then? Side by side. On the exit then, he's going to try and take a punch shot up the inside then. Yes, he is. Is it going to work? Just about not, because Chris there covers his line then. Final 2 corners. Matty there attacking valiantly, but it's going to be Chris. Unless we see Matty take a lunge at the last corner, which he's not going to do. It's going to be Chris then to take the sprint then here in France. A brilliant battle between these two, but Chris wins in France, wins the sprint. Matty in second. Ghost will cross the line in 3rd. Yellow flags flying. That is, like you said, a Ramsat out of this race. MCR in 4th. Ryan from Cam and Leddy. Then comes Mick. Then Matt Tibbles. Ryan B from Harry F. Chill, Pace, Len Slayer, Wowster, Melty, Jasper, Marty and Major.
0.046 between Cam and Ryan Belshaw. That was kind of a photo finish right there, if I'd say so myself. So, the order that you see on your screens right now will be the order of the 50% race, and that's when the big points are on offer. So, maximum points, I believe, tonight, if you get the win in both races, 37, I believe. So, plenty of chance. Probably there's the fastest lap in both races. That's why it's not obviously that. But not 35, it's 37. But we'll see who's got fastest lap, actually. I will get the doesn't look like it's going to be maximum points on offer tonight for Chris. But he's got the win anyway. From Matty, Ghost, MCR, Ryan Belshaw, Cam, Letty, Mick, Matt Tibbles and Ryan B. They're your final point scorers because it's from 10 down to 1. And your finishers are Harry F, Chill, Passe, Slayer, Valter, Melty, Jasper, Marty and Major. And your one and only retirement is Nantram. And he's going to be starting right from last place. Which is where Cam started in the sprint race last time. And, well, in the feature race in the USA. And he won that race. So, no pressure from the Ransam there. But you can't see it on your screens at the moment. But it is nice and sunny. But don't let that fool you. There could be changeable conditions, as it is proven here at Le Castellet, of course, because I've taken part in so many French races that was raining. It's probably just a little bit of the weather. Now, this track has had many changes to the pit lane in 2019 as well. Quite a few resurfacing changes as well. There's lots of miles of runoff, which people get a bit confused. As we said, designed primarily as a test facility, WEC. Go there quite a bit as well. And we're looking at the tyre life for the race. We got 8 laps for the soft, 15 laps for the mediums, and 20 laps for the hard tyres. It's going to be most likely a medium to hard strategy, or hard to medium, depends which tyre you want to start with. Most people would want to start on the medium striped tyres, but I'm probably wrong because a lot of people are going to be starting on the hards, which I don't blame them. So let's go through your tyres as I get the scene up as well before I forget. So I'll forget otherwise. So, Chris, your pole sitter, well, your winner from the sprint race, he starts on pole here today in the sprint, and he's on hards. Matty, Ghost and MCL, also on hards. Ryan Belshaw and Cam on the mediums. Aledi and Matt Tibos on the hards. Mick on the mediums, as well as Ryan B, Harry F and Chill. Everyone else from Passe, Slayer, Valter, Melty, Jasper, Marty, Major and Nantram are on the hard compounded tyres. So everybody apart from 6 drivers, they're thinking the hards could go long, and they could go on to the mediums until the end of the race. Very interesting. I would usually start on the mediums personally, because they get there might be a safety car. But I do believe as well you do get an extra set of mediums in the race if you don't use the mediums in the sprint race. So, but a lot of people use mediums in the sprint race, so that won't matter too much. But we are about to get underway. Any predictions on who you think is going to do well around here, and who do you think needs to step up? That's going to be my question instead. Then, who do you think needs to step up after their poor performance in the sprint race?
Well, you got to say the likes of Ram Sam's going to hope for a good race. Jasper, Melty, Wowster. You got to look for Ryan Belt B as well. They've got to be really cautious. They don't want to make mistakes like they did, of course, in the first race. Chris needs to just do what he's doing, stay out of trouble. Then he's got his teammate not long far behind him. If they can work together, they can definitely attack, of course. One-stop strategy, hard to medium. The two-stop as well, hard to medium. Lap 11 to 22 go on the soft tyres between, after lap 22, pretty much towards the end of the race. The last couple of laps then. Let's see what the McLarens can do. Mercedes alongside. It is, of course, a Mercedes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in terms of the power unit. Then comes the Honda, and then got it the other Mercedes power unit of the Aston Martin. Then comes the Ferrari. Then comes the one of 2 Renault units on this grid. The Alpines then 9th and 16th, then respectively in the home Grand Prix. The French flag on the left there, showing their support, of course, for the French team. Then in Enstone, situated though as well, very much with their French DNA. Last car on the grid, Major. But in just a few moments' time, those 5 red lights, then 2, the 3rd, the 4th, when the 5th goes off here for the feature race, then it's underway, and then lights out, and away we go. Good start there from Chris. Ghost has a very shocking start there. Down 1, 2, 3, 4 positions then. Alongside him comes Matty then. Into the first corner. Are we all going to get away cleanly? No, we're not. 1, 2 cars off in the background there. Looks like one of the Aston Martins certainly going around as well. Ryan Bell, Ryan B off the road as well. Can't go to the back. There's absolute mayhem just at the back there. That's the Mercedes. That is contact there. Pace off the road as well. Looks like in the back. But contact at the back.
There. Passe and Ranfram once again. And the
Aston contact.
It's Passe, not Pace.
Passe, my apologies there, as Wowster and Jasper go to battle up front. It is, of course, a battle there. Cam up to 4th. That's a stonking start then in the Red Bull then. From 6th on the grid up to 4th so far. Chris leads this race from Ryan B then. So let's see Ryan B on those mediums versus the hard compound tyres. MCR in 3rd. Then comes Cam, like you mentioned earlier, just everyone on a hard or a medium. No one going for the soft compound tyre, which of course does not last around here very long. Lasts between 5 and 6 laps. Melty there having a bit of a moment as off the road there. We've got the Alpine in trouble. And there, Matt Tibos there losing his nose on something's gone wrong because his nose is gone. Damage there has been done, but what's he hit is what is the question. But certainly trouble there, and he'll be straight in the pit then for a set of medium tyres. And luckily for him, he can go back on those set of hards. In as well comes Mick in the Ferrari, but the other Alpine driver, it's of course we had Melty in the sprint. And now we've had also Melties in the pit then as well. So both Alpines, Jess, having a torrid time so far. The French team, which I mentioned
about
earlier.
Alpines?
Yes. Yeah, that is now the 5th time in the recent weeks that Alpine have been murdered by me. But up front, Chris leads this race from Brian Campbell all the way up to 3rd. He's having a brilliant start.
He got past MCR as well in the process. He was battling with Mercedes as well. But Cam is now the leader of this big DRS train, which you do not want to be in France. I'm not looking forward to that later on as well. But Cam, don't forget, it's on the medium tyres. So the ones on the mediums, Ryan Belcher and Cam made the most of a good situation. Harry F as well and Chill had good starts as well. Position changes as well for the drivers. Major up 10, so he's had a good start as well, hasn't he? You said that he needs to do well. As Matty gets past MCR then into turn 9, heading towards turn 10 now. There he goes. Matty is up into 4th place. But yeah, Major definitely proving why the sprint race is something he needs to forget. But he's going to battle with his teammate, who's also made up good ground in this race, as well as Chill. So those guys having good races. The biggest loser, by the way, is Aledi. Down 12 positions in this race. Mick and Matt Tibos down 8. Ryan B at down 5. Passe down 1. Melty down 4.
In comes the Williams, Jess, then
Harry F. What happened there?
For a set of hard tyres, I wonder. Has he got some damage?
If there's no damage, is there a sign that there could be rain on the horizon?
Yeah, it certainly could be. Nice sunshine above us. I haven't seen any comment on wet weather.
You never know. Anything can happen.
For a new nose? Yeah, new nose
yeah,
then
new
for
nose,
him. So another driver getting caught up. That's a soft. It's going to set hard.
Hard compact. There's red rims on the Williams. That's probably why you got a bit confused, Liam.
Is there? There isn't.
I'm sure there was red rims on one car.
They are not red.
No. I thought. It was. I was looking at another car. Sorry. Apologies about that.
In terms of cars that did have rims, it's a shame that they don't do it. Ferrari used to have gold rims. I remember.
McLaren's rims are very cool. An interesting fact.
Oh, sorry, Jess, cut over you. We got a battle. Well, nearly not a battle. That was Slayer and Jasper getting a bit close there. Are we going to see a potential overtake? Or I'll go back to you. We'll go back to you. You were saying about things.
I know you probably will know this, and a lot of people will know this. How did McLaren boys? Is that Jasper? I will talk about that in a minute, Liam, because Jasper and Slayer are fighting ding dong here. It's like a whole switcheroo all over again. Yellow flag. That is an Alpine of Melty, who's had a bit of a spin, but he's gone back on the circuit, which is great to see. And I won't get you to answer the question I'm going to ask. The rims on the McLaren is Google, by the way. So
Google Chrome, by the way.
Google Chrome, which is my favourite browser of all time. As Cam has got past Ryan Belshaw up to 2nd.
Yeah, and it'll be pretty sad if there was Internet Explorer. Although to be fair, with how McLaren are in real life right
ages
now,
ago, Liam. That ran
how
out.
McLaren are in real life. I mean, Internet Explorer is pretty accurate for the speed they are going in real life. I mean, while talking of real life and things, the Haas going backwards, that's something I've seen a few times. They're having an incident right now, but up front, Cam, he's got to be looking behind. He has a bit of a gap then to Ryan B, but we know how powerful it is down this straight with DRS. Are we going to see a potential for Alonso into turn 8 and 9? Thinks about it, but too far back to try it. Cam, though, he's on those medium tyres. Chris on those centre hards, but we know these hard tyres just from, well, previous experience, like at Spain as well, which, of course, we both know experience around another circuit as Shell passes, goes up the inside into Sheen's corner, and that should be a relatively easy manoeuvre if he gets the job done on the exit. Yes, he will. Up the inside comes the Alfa Romeo. Is the McLaren going to go Long John back up the inside in frustration? Thinks about it, but never mind, because the Alfa Romeo goes spinning around, and well, exactly what I was about to say.
Another commentator's curse, Liam.
Yeah, he should be fine. He might on Ghost right in an awkward situation, but I think passing gets
Alfa Romeo has red rims. There we go.
Invalid overtake, was that? That wasn't a valid overtake. Game.
That's a bit harsh. Come on.
Don't do that. Obviously, that's the first time. I can't remember the last time I saw the Alfa Romeo rims. They've got red and white. They kind of dance, don't they? That's very beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, I'm just starting to notice the rims on this game as well. Some of them are a little more noticeable than others, but I kind of wish the teams made more effort as well to making their rims look colourful.
I want neons.
Yes, yeah.
You know what?
I wish we would have customise our rims in multiplayer cars, but we don't get the chance to do that, which is annoying. Maybe next game.
Do you reckon McLaren are going to run neon? We know what McLaren are like with their liveries. Neons running at Singapore?
I don't know. This is the first Singapore race since 2019, and we all know who won that one, Mr. Seb.
His last win. Sad face.
Wouldn't that be I know it'll be unlikely, but
it's just forget it. It's not happening.
I would like that to happen, as does a lot of Vettel fans across the world as all. Chris and Cam having a ding-dong battle. Jasper and Major.
That's Jasper and a Major. This is the second time Major's tried to go up the inside into this corner. It's not my time. No, the car ahead spun. The second time of ours, it didn't work, but the car ahead also didn't spin. So, all ends well. Talking of spinning, though, Major almost spins. So, the old... Well, I guess that is the counter curse on him. No one in the pit lane quite yet. We believe, of course, looking in the sky, some kind of form above us, Jazz, we're seeing in the distance. Hopping over, of course, over the mountains. Of course, here in the castle, of course, right on the French Riviera. Melty.
He's going to get lapped if he's not careful.
Floor damage potentially, we believe, then, on the Alpine driver. So, not having a good afternoon for him up front, though. Chris, 1.8 seconds, stabilising then from Cam, who's pulling away bit by bit then from Ryan Belshaw.
Yeah, you're right. You got the right one.
Ryan Belshaw then in third position from Matty in fourth, MCR in fifth. Followed suit then by Chell, Ghost, Jasper, Major, Wowster, the Alpine that's gone off of
Ryan Belshaw.
again.
Matty got the move on Ryan Belshaw there into turn 8. Nicely done. It was a DRS overtake, to be fair, but it was calm, it was collected as well, and Cam's going to love that because those two keep absolutely squabbling right now as well. Anyone else close for a move? Marty and Passe? No, not quite as well. I've practiced a lot around this track, and trying to get past on DRS with my setup at least is very tricky. So that's probably why I need to tweak my setup before the race, because otherwise I'm going to be in a bit of bother as we head towards turn 11. This part is very understeery, as I found out from practice earlier as well. I've got 2 races in the space of 2 or 3 days around this track.
Oh God.
Which is not a good thing, because I don't like this track.
3 races low? No, because you got the sprint, which is a race. You got the feature, which is a race.
Yeah, 3.
So, I mean, technically, I'm correct, man. 3 races for you, but up front, 1.8 seconds still. That McLaren, well, those hard tyres coming to light then. Remember, the medium tyres last around about 12 to 13 laps, and are we looking at potential for some rain coming on later in this race? It is certainly clouding over. I mean, I don't think it's going to rain. But knowing my luck, it's probably going to piddle it down right in a few minutes. But it definitely does look like there is some minor cloud. Okay, it looks like it's going to rain. Oh, Cam, big twitch left. I don't know if that was lag or not. It's very difficult to tell sometimes about lag or not. But Cam there, bit of a twist. But I tell you, I think Matty's got a chance here down into the chicane. I think he might just run out of steam, though. By the time he gets there, closes up with about 10.5. But you really want to be within 4 attempts to get past. Talking of getting past. Jasper on Ghost, but on the exit, let's see, you're going to dump your ERS, Matty. You've got the chance. Cam's got another lot, and you could try down into turn 11, into the basalt corner, and get alongside him, go up the inside, but once out, the Cam doesn't turn in on you, which is very easy to do, like that, and around, unfortunately, goes the Mercedes. So, you know how I say, Jazz, about to be careful on things, and that immediately doesn't happen? Well, I guess, poor old Matty's discovered exactly what I theorise probably is going to happen there, because it's very easy to do that.
Yes, as I found out in practice quite a few times as well by spinning there, but it might be he has a loose back end, because that's what I found when I was doing some races early on in the week for other leagues, that if you have a loose back end in your setup, and your setup is not stable, that's why you're prone to more spins. As Chill is, he's come alive in this race, hasn't he? He's got past Ryan Belshaw, up to third. 3 championship contenders, 1, 2, and 3. Not in the correct order, but it would have been the correct order if Chill and Cam swapped round. There we go. Yellow flag. Alpine again. Melty. No, it's not Melty. It's Matt Tibos that's gone off, and he's having a battle with Harry F. heading towards T1. Can he make it stick? I don't think Matt Tibbles... No, Matt Tibbles does not have any damage then, so... phew.
Well, you say that, but he's gone spud immediately.
That was commentator's curse there from Mr.
Still has some damage, though. So, he's still fine. He's just overheated his tyres, it looks like, right now. And, well, as long as he doesn't spin in the next few seconds again, he should get away with it. But, it wants to be nice and cautious, really, these corners. But it is very easy to suddenly become a croppie. Talking of becoming a cropper in Alpines, guess what? Another Alpine's gone off. That is Melty off the road, and another one of those two French cars that aren't having a good afternoon, since I said they were going to have a good afternoon earlier on for the 4th time this season. And their curse continues. We'll say that much. Chill in 3rd, Ryan in 4th. MCR from Jasper, Matty from Ghost. At 9 of 27 then here in the Castle. Clouds forming overhead. But Jess, further down the field, we've got a bit of a battle going on then from 12th down to 14th.
Yes, 12th down to 14th position then with the likes of Marty, Passe and Slayer. Slayer, I think, is a little bit further back, so it is 11th, 12th and 13th. And here comes Ryan B then. On the exit of 2, heading towards turn 3. They made contact. Has that hindered the Red Bull driver? We'll have to wait and see. It's Alfa Romeo has spun. That is Marty then. No, it's not Marty. Is it Marty?
It is Marty.
It was Marty. He's now behind Passe now, and he's got a lot of work to do to get back up at this fight, but he's still in his DRS train then. Look at that straight line speed for Marty then. Is he going to go left or right? He's going left, but this time he's got to go for it and take risks, and he's just taken risks in Le Castellet, and he's back up into 12. But to be honest, he's buying more than he could chew around here, because the spin won't help his tyres. Speaking of tyres, I will get the tyres up on your screen. Only one to have pitted, by the way.
That's Melty.
In the Alpine. He's on hards. That won't get to the end unless it's a safety car, which is quite common around this circuit. But it is on reduced, believe it or not. So, yes, but MCR, 4 attempts behind Ryan Belshaw. Anything can happen around this circuit. I've got the stats on when people, I think, will come into the pit. According to the strategy gods, lap 11 for a set of the hard tyres. We started on mediums. Probably a bit later on this around this track, but we'll see. Lap 16 if you want to do hard to medium. But again, they might do it earlier, they might do it later. So we'll watch out for either Cam Shaw or Ryan Belshaw this lap to see if they end up pitting this lap, next lap, or the lap after. Mediums only last 15 laps, remember? So they got to do it soon, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Meanwhile, MCR, they're closing up with the back slowly of Ryan Belshaw. So the Aston Martin trying to get past the Williams. Don't forget, by the way, it's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. All different constructors individually as well, if I'm not mistaken. There you are. That is correct. On that one, they are all different constructors there as well. Then it's Ghost, and then, of course, the Alfa Romeo of Major, and then, of course, it all gets a bit confusing further down. But Ryan B, that's Ryan Belshaw, starting to drop back a little bit into the clutches of MCR and Jasper. Jasper, of course, not having much fun. Yellow flags. That is for the Alpine of Matt Tibbles, I think, now, who's had an issue. And that's the second Alpine now. Back down the back of the field. Luckily, though, both of them still in this afternoon's race. In comes Chill for a set of hard compound tyres, just like you theorised, to go to the end, as I mentioned, the Alpines, and which one's spun. It's quite difficult to tell right now between them. It's Melty that's off.
Chill's in then. Okay,
yes.
So that is... So, as I was saying, a lap earlier than predicted, so that strongly means undercut for Chill. So what will Cam and Ryan Belshaw do to respond to that? Will they... I know that I commented on the top tier PSGR, and usually a lot of those guys, they leave it a lap or two later than the predicted strategy, so they would probably go on to around about lap 13 for a set of the hard tyres, just to stay out and get that extra grip. Because the mediums can last quite a bit around here.
Yeah, remember, Jess, the thing is, of course, the tyre warm-up, isn't it?
Oh, Ryan Belshaw is being passed by MCR, so MCR up to third.
Yeah, up to third there. Pretty easy overtake with DRS, who's gone off. It's an Alpine. They've not had much luck right now. They're not having very much fun in the French
they get spinning again. It's not...
I said they were going to do well, and now all the yellow flags is from the French. So I have cursed.
Jasper. Oh, that was a late dive. Is he going to do it? Come on, Sunshine, he does.
Ryan B lost the rear there. I don't know what happened there. Just couldn't get the car turned in there for whatever reason.
Are we going to
see anyone in the pit lane? They've got to come in soon, and Cam does then. So he's going for the overcut strategy. MCR stays out. He's on the hard. Jasper on the hards. In comes Belshaw on the mediums. Anyone else going to dive in following? I'd expect we'll see the other Ryan in, I presume. Yep, in comes Ryan. Anyone else on those set of medium tires, you'd see it coming in. I think that's pretty much all of them so far. But rotten luck for the Alpines, Jess, so far. They have... I feel really bad for them. I mean, luckily they haven't gone spinning since I've said that. I say that, I just cut to Melty, who's completely drifting through the corner. So, I don't know what the Alpines are doing, but I can tell you what, they are certainly living up to the expectations of the French. Luckily, though, they haven't brought out the white flag.
Melty's going to hate you, Liam.
Yes, he's going to help me after this, because it's all fun and games for Melty and me. We like having some fun, but I'm truly sorry to the French public, who I've adorably ruined their afternoon. Safety car has been deployed, and who's that for? Naramsam, who's gone off. Is that the last corner? That's a weird place to go off. Last corner? No, he's gone off way after the last corner, hasn't he? Looking at the map, that's on the power coming. That's like that's really where the pit lane entry used to be, of course, from 2018 and 19, and that's a weird place to have dropped it. So has he had contact potentially, or has he just dropped it on the power? But Naramsam out of this race, so another driver who's having a bit of an issue. As I'm seeing, is the stream having some issues, Jess?
Yes, the stream is having some issues at the moment.
So the stream's having some issues, it would seem. Has it crashed?
No, but it hasn't crashed. I'm just trying to find...
It is buffeting.
I'm trying to...
Jasper. Oh dear.
Jasper, 5-second penalty there. What was that for?
Speeding in the pit lane, looked like that.
Oh.
93-second time penalty. Well, stream's back up again. It's a bit twitchy and a bit laggy, but hopefully
I don't know literally what's going on tonight. It's been a bit... Well, my mum and dad have got back, and they've probably...
And now the internet's broken. Oh, what's going on here in the pit lane? Is that a bit of a lag spike? Oh, certainly something's happened there, because everyone just stopped. They got going again, but some slight issues, but hopefully we'll keep going. Melty,
I am
stop
recording
doing
anyway, so
Yes.
we've got a backup.
We have the backup in case of the backup option of original break. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but if there is some technical issues later on in this race, we will record it. In comes Melty, serves a 5-second time penalty. He's got 13 seconds so far. In comes Matt Tibbles as well. These two well down the order, and the Alpines having a torrid time in their home Grand Prix, both for a set of soft compound tyres. They're going to go to the, presumably, trying to see how far they can stretch them, but 9 laps pretty much is the answer to that one. Marty comes out the pits. Marty spun? What's happened to Marty? Front wing's gone. Marty, what has happened?
That's 15th, yeah.
15th position, having trouble. What has happened to him? As, well, something certainly happened as he slows down. Has he had contact somewhere? Has he had contact with his teammate? We can't see because, of course,
It's hard to tell.
no warnings. I'm going to have a look at this race director to see if we've got any warnings, if it lets me look at the race director, because it doesn't like doing it. Let's have a look then. Has there been any incident? It normally says if there was contact. Jasper got a 5-second time penalty by for severe contact with MCR, so that must have presumably been into the pit lane then, so it might not even been that hard of a contact. It's just enough to get an issue. And yeah, as that happened, as I'm stuck. What's happened? There we go.
I hope your game hasn't crashed, Liam, because that will be an absolute disaster otherwise. Oh! What's happened there with Marty and Major? That was an illegal overtake or someone slowing down? I don't know, but we got Marty going on to a set of... He's got damage, isn't he? He's got damage on that Alfa Romeo. That's not good. Not good at all.
We are okay. Don't worry, Jazz. My game's got stuck. Apparently, looking at the race director decided to end the session for me.
Luckily, my session is still fine, guys.
Yeah, so this is why I'm not streaming. Well, in fact, I probably wouldn't have looked at that. I've always been streaming. I'd let you look at it. But minor issues right there. We'll get back into it.
We
in
will.
A second. So not to worry. I'm not dead. I'm just slightly injured.
So hopefully it's fixed for Liam soon. Do you want an invite, Liam?
I've got one.
Oh, brilliant. Great. You see, Eloise are very kind, you see, with those type of things, so thank you very much. So, Marty and Matt Tibbles on the softs now. That is worrying if there's not going to be any rain around. So, yeah, as Melty is a bit twitchy on my screen. That's a bit worrying. And look who's joined, Mr. Evil Dragon. There we go. He's back. Melty, I believe, is going to be a... Oh. Melty.
He's got rear wing damages, I've just noticed, because he's just told me he's got
Oh,
orange
right,
rear
okay,
wing
that
damage,
makes sense.
so...
That's probably why he's twitching so much. He's 2 minutes 6 down on the 18th, so yeah, he's going to be a lap down, I think. Let me check gap to leader. No, not quite. Okay. So it's just a game messing up with the timings again. So, safety car in this lap. And Chris will be the one controlling that safety car.
And I joined back right in time.
Yep, you did join back in time, actually. That's good. And we just got under half race distance of this race to go. And with the Google Chrome rims then, Chris is about to get underway for the final half of the French Grand Prix here in Le Castellet at Paul Ricard. And Chris has got a lightning start on those medium tyres. Now, those mediums may not be as durable as the hards, but they'll be very, very good on the start. And we'll see that Aston Martin can try and catch up to the Red Bull car of Cam then. But Chris is leading from Cam, from MCR, from Jasper, from Matty Chill. And Mick as well, who's been staying out for quite a bit now. Yellow flag, that is Slayer, who has gone off. He's the only house still in this race. And it's not gone very well for the Haas team. And the Alpine has gone into the pits as well.
Marty getting sent around there. Contact with Matt Tibbles. Pirouettes from 360 degrees. A bit of a Clumsy maneuver there from the Alfa Romeo. Tried to lunge one up the inside of Matt Tibbles. Matt Tibbles wouldn't have seen him coming. Sent it around. Jasper, meanwhile, has taken the advantage. Has got past MCR then, so he's fired up those tyres slightly better. That's going to help Cam on his attack of the Titan of Chris then. But Jasper, doing what he needed to do from earlier on, had a torrid sprint, but now is potentially coming to good then. As I fear that Melty might get disqualified if he's not too careful. The way things are going for the poor man. 5 stops this afternoon. I don't know if he's going to have enough tyres to carry on soon enough. Meanwhile, Passe gets past Ghost. Matt Tibbles gets past Leddy as those two get a bit close together. Yellow flags as Melty is out of this race.
Safety car?
Is that going to trigger a safety car? It's
yes,
a
virtual. Now, don't forget, some of these guys may have a spare set of mediums. Will some of them come in?
There's two, there won't be enough time, Jess, to get back round the lap then, so...
good point, good point.
Unless it's a long virtual safety car, normally doesn't
which does
last more than a
happen
minute.
sometimes, not all the time.
Sometimes. It's more common in the tracks of like Austria, Hungary, Monaco. You'll get a virtual safety car that will last just about a lap, maybe and a bit more. Historically around circuits like Paul Ricard, France, Silverstone. Well, that was a quick one, as that was Pache getting a drive for, I think. There's a few of them who got a drive-through penalty there.
Let me
Matt
see who
Tibos,
they were. Matt Tibos and Harry F. So they'll have to come in 3 laps' time, because otherwise they will be naughty and get disqualified. Yes, disqualification otherwise.
Meanwhile, MCR going rather backwards right now in this race. We mentioned earlier that he was trying to attack Cam. Well, that's not really going to plan right now for MCR, because he dropped down another position, now down into 5th from where he was in 3rd, so behind MCR in that. Meanwhile, Mick and Chill going battling these two. 2nd and I think 6th in the title so far. Remember, Mick won just 7 days ago, and he is now ahead of Chill right now. He was 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, as you are now midway through this season. 16 rounds, of course. We are on round 8.
Passe is in for his drive-through. He's getting it done nice and early.
Yeah, might as well at this point, as in comes the other guys
the other two as well. Oh, as we got Major on the back of Ryan B. That's close, sunshine, as we head towards turn number 1. Hopefully they don't make contact, because we know Ryan B has been involved in quite a few instances today here at Paul Ricard. But luckily, respect from both of those drivers then, as they head towards turn 5. The clouds are starting to get darker and darker, so will there be any threat of rain coming up in the non-too-distant future? Or will we just see it like this for the rest of the race? Now, this is good racing between the pair of them. So, Major, he's on the right, on our right anyway. Ryan B on our left. Who's going to have the better run heading towards turn 8? They passed Mistral straight, now heading towards the chicane. And we've got Major up to 11th place. Don't forget, in the fall...
Jasper, somebody cut over you there, really on the back of Cam then. It was 98 100ths behind Cam, all of a sudden under pressure then. The Ferrari coming alive in this afternoon's race. He's definitely got the pressure on. Cam struggling a little bit, but look at the cloud chest. You mentioned it earlier. Really coming over. Is there yet to be late excitement in this race there? Quish has just made a big mistake there. He got on the curb. Fumble drifting through the corner. I think that might have been some lag, to be fair, more than anything, but a big mistake there from Chris. He's up the front of this order. But Cam in 2nd, running low on ERS. Well, I say that might have been a mistake, but wow, that really says that was lag, because he's gone fastest of all this lap. But can he be defeated so far? He's getting that championship. It's looking like it could be coming his way slowly. We've still got half the season to go. Marty, there we go. Soft compound tyres. They come alive. Jasper should theoretically be able to get past Cam here. I don't think Cam's going to put up too much of a fight at this stage of this race. Look at the sky. Look at the rain potentially coming in, and realise that it is certainly going to rain soon enough. I probably wouldn't fight this at all if I was him. In fact, he's not. Stays to the right-hand side, of course, running the pink helmet, of course, the purple helmet, of course. in honour of Queen Elizabeth II, who died just over a week and a bit ago now. Of course, funeral in just a few days' time on Monday. From
Most of us get the day off for that.
As Matty goes up the inside as well. Another one to get past Cam, who's low on ERS, but I think right now he is just looking at the sky and going, it's going to rain.
He's good in the rain, remember?
Yeah, he is very good in the wet historically, so let's see what he can do. But remember, these two as well, they have penalties, and they have, 8 and 3 seconds, so that's not going to bother Cam too much at this stage of the race, because with the laps you've got left on this, Jasper's got incredible pace, which we've seen before. Jasper, a very good driver, Malty as well, these two are very good, but if these guys start squabbling, which look like they might do, it's going to help Cam a little bit then in this race. I think he's given up. I think they've all given up right now in hopes of winning this, because Chris waltzing off into this distance like Matilda did once upon a time in Australia. But so far, looking good though. Second, third and fourth, Ferrari, Red Bull, and, well, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, my apologies, line and stern. A lovely little sight to see. The three leading cars of this generation. Well, the last couple of seasons as well. Certainly since at least 2015. Well, really since about 2013, really, those three. Taking over the reins of the best teams in Formula 1. They've had ups and downs, and occasionally McLaren, of course, third in the Constructors in 2012. No, that was... Sorry, that was Racing Point. No, was it? No, it was McLaren.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was McLaren, yeah. So, in 2020. Meanwhile, is Matty going to try and challenge, but rain on the horizon now, certainly. A few specks in the distance, as we are now entering that 20 of 27 in a few moments' time. We are on that 19 then. So, into the last real stages of this race. And you must say right now, it is certainly turning into an enthralling one, but big drama expected in the last couple of laps.
Yes, and make sure you join us for that, because anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. And don't forget that you can also check out Division 2 and Division 4 later at 10 past 8 as they do the sprint race as well. But there's still more action to behold here, as Jasper is looking to hold on to that second place right now. Because any danger of Matty and Cam getting past him is going to be in a lot of trouble, because MCR's also in this fight. Mick, I have to say, good combat. He's been on those tyres for 18 laps, by the way. He's praying, and I mean 100% praying for rain, because otherwise he would have pitted quite a while back. But we will see with Mick what he could do in the Ferrari, in the limited time version. That is no, it's not an Alpine, that's Slayer. Another one that's been off in the wars loads of times today. He's down in 16th, and I think we got an Alpine and Williams trying to catch up to him as well.
Matt and Harry.
Yep, that is Matt and Harry. Still no sign of rain yet, but it's getting dark very, very quickly. So, lots of stories to happen, and it may come down to who could just keep their cars on the road.
Yeah, certainly it's going to come down to that if we get to this last stage of the race. Now you mentioned the Alpine. Now it's going off finally. So there is the Alpine that's really been struggling. Both of them having a torrid afternoon, having a torrid season really in essence. And it's just not worked for whatever reason for them. And I might have cursed them a little bit as they're a bit close there. And that was Ryan B on the back of Mr. Walster, but they get away with it. Look at the sky. Still no sign of rain yet. We're on that 21 now. So remember, if it wants to start coming down, I've seen races. It starts raining on that 22 when it gets to full wet right at the end. So could we see a repeat of that one? It is very possible. So let's
Well,
find
you've done
out.
custom weather here before.
Yes, I did do custom weather here before accidentally in a league race, and it didn't go well. Talking of it going well, it's the Alpine that's going back around again, and still spinning around. We pointing in the right direction? Yes, well, I hope so, because he's driving in a straight. He's driving, so if he's not,
but he's driving. He still win this race, so fair play. He gets the Endeavour Award there as he's gone off the circuit. Slayer, 3-second time penalty. And I always keep going on board to see if there's rain going on the halo, but not yet. Not yet. I'm just getting a little bit impatient because I want something to happen at the moment. As Ryan B.
Matty just sort of cut over you. Matty, they're trying to go around the outside, then into Scene's corner. It's brave stuff to try around the outside. Might try the old switcheroo if he can, but stays back. Does not want to use his ERS right now. Wait for the DRS. But we know Jasper's got a very quick car in a straight line. It certainly seems so because he's been able to hold on to it despite that a few times. He is running very low. Red light flashing. So he is harvesting. He's under 10%, of course. If you're under 10%, you get the red flashy light of doom and despair. But the sky, like we said, darkener and darkening. Each lap we pass. But it looks like it's holding back for the time being as we run a ball again with Matty. Still can't do it. Still not using all the ERS. And now, rain. Starting to fall, Jess, on lap 22. And you know, earlier on I mentioned about lap 22 and rain. Well, guess what?
Right.
Lap 22, and it is now officially starting to rain then here in Paul Ricard. And this is now going to be, what, 5 laps, 6 laps to go, I think, of this race. How heavy is it coming down? How quick does it rain? Well, looking at the sudden sprinkle of rain, I'd say it's going to start coming down pretty heavily. But how heavy is it? Well, looking at the circuit, Jess, I would say it's coming down very heavily. As here comes Matty on Jasper, outside versus inside. Not going to do it then. He squeezed off the road. Now, if I was Matty, dump all your ERS out of this corner. Try do it now. Try go the old... You're going to have to dummy him. You have to go right then left. You're going to try and do it. He's going to try and go around the outside line. That's not going to work because you're going to have to try and burn some here and try and go up the inside then. But again, that's good playing then from Jasper. Holds the line. But we are now getting into slippier conditions, and all of a sudden, a wet line slowly starting to form already. We're on lap 22, by the way. It only started raining a lap ago, and it certainly looks like it is raining reasonably heavily.
It is. It looks like it, doesn't it? And it may be a chance for the intermediate tyres, and that's good news if your Mick has stayed out for this long as well. So that's going to be... Oh, I like this, Liam. A little bit of spice to end up this race. And Matt Tibos again, penalty. And as Matty caught up to Jeff once again. Now, if you're on the hard tyres, you're pretty much buggered because the softer the tyre is in these type of conditions, the easier it gets. So, yeah, if you're on the hard, your tyres are going to be cold. There's Marty has got a time penalty there added to his name. As I'll go through the penalties. Jasper and Matty's got one. So it's Ryan B, Belshaw, Major, Marty, Ryan B, Slayer, and Matt Tibos.
I tell you what, Jess, Matty's not close enough this time around. He's ready. He's kind of dropping back a little bit. Right now, will anyone risk it? As I'm seeing in the chat for intermediate ties, J. Luke asking. There's a possibility, but see, we're looking, there's still a bit of sunshine in the background, but it is certainly raining, but are we going to see a situation like I saw once in Belgium where it just about hovers on the last lap of inches to wet? So are we going to see someone take a gamble on the last lap of this race to come in and try it? Yellow flags. Ledding dropping it. Gets a 5-second time penalty for good measure as well for corner cutting. That's a little bit harsh for the game. But I'm going to say we are looking towards just getting intermediates. But then we've seen Matt Tibos just go and set the fast lap of this race despite it raining, but he's on those fresh set of tyres. Lap times are howly dropping off. We're setting 35, so a second and a bit off right now. Yellow flags. Who's that who's gone off?
That is an Alpha. Marty.
Puncher for Marty. Rear left tyre's gone. And oh! Contact there, and that was Pache. You probably didn't realise there. And well, there's the puncher spinning around, and no grip for him. I wouldn't be surprised. Is he going to come in for a set of intermediate tyres, or is this a potential retirement? But Pache there couldn't see a thing there. Flew through the corner, didn't realise. I don't think he realised that Marty had a puncture hit the rear end of him, and well, that's the end result to it. But not looking like it. I mean, I said it was looking like it was starting to get wet, Jess, but not coming down ridiculously hard right now as Matty closing up again on the back of Jasper as they come down to the Mistral chicane, and still can't quite do it yet, and they're going to have to wait another time. Then out they come then, the Montreal chicane as they come down into Sheeton's corner. Turn 10 for the 24th time of 27. Sky is dark, rain is falling, late drama still potentially coming. There's a twist in the tail still to play, but who's it for and what's it to be? That's the answer.
We
Cam
don't know
right
who's
now
going to win
down
this
in
one.
fourth. We don't know who's going to win, but all we do know is whoever's going to win this race will cross the line in first on lap 27. Presumably, I mean, they might not, because there might be Jasper who's got an 8-second time banner, and they might do it, but to be fair though, Jasper has got a 5-second time banner, so he's probably hoping it rains, but doesn't rain too heavily, so he can stay out. But right as things stand, he's going to drop himself right down the order, isn't he? Down into that kind of
So he
gaggle of
might have to
cars.
risk it and stay out.
We might have to risk it, but how heavy is it going to rain? We might get. So that's 25. We are starting to see some puddles forming. DRS yet to be disabled. Lap times are really dropping off so far to speak. So as things stand, it looks like the weather might just click on the last lap and a half. Then yellow flags, and that is Slayer. He's gone off then out of the last corner.
Again.
Slick spins it around, lighting around Sam, of course, earlier on this afternoon. Dropped it in the same place then as Slayer, but Slayer, I think, gets away with it. Might got a bit of damage on the rear end, but nonetheless, not too bad. Now it's starting to rain. Now the rain coming down, Jess, and now does anyone think potentially? I think DRS might be disabled in the next lap. Sun is gone. Darkness descends. Over Paul Ricard. Track is damp. The cars are wet. The drivers are cold. Me and Jess are nice and warm in the commentary box because we've got, well, it's quite cold actually in the UK, but
we got fleeces on.
Yes.
Oh, I have. So, I always make a bad decision whether to stay out or not. But if it's too late into the session, you may have to stay out and just risk it. Oh, contact! Ghost and Ryan B.
And what's happened there between those two? They've certainly come across, but DRS has just been disabled. DRS disabled now then, so we are on lap 26. Has anyone further back going to try and risk for a set of intermediates all of a sudden for the final lap of this race? In comes a lady, I think comes into the pit lane. Is it worth a gamble? We know how quickly, Jess. We know how quickly these conditions can suddenly deteriorate. Up to 20 seconds in a lap. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that severe, but he is certainly going for the intermediate tyres. So, he's going to gamble it.
He was 14th anyway, wasn't he?
He's 14th. In comes Harry into the pit lane as well for a set of intermediates. In comes Slayer. So,
they may catch up. They may catch up to the guys there.
They might. They've got a lap in a bit. This is still late drama. It depends how heavy it is coming down. We have just got the DRS disabled. So, this race could be suddenly thrown on its head. Then these drivers are going to be tiptoeing around. And look now, Jess. Look at the rain falling then here in Paul Ricard on the final lap of this race. This is going to be tricky, treacherous conditions. It is officially intermediates. Are we going to see anyone up front try and dumb in? They're going to stay out then, so they're going to risk it for the chocolate biscuit. And is it going to work for them? Is it not? Out comes Slayer at the back, and we could see some drivers trying to come through and get positions, but I think it's a little bit too late then. Final lap of this race. But what is the grip? What are the conditions like for these guys on the soft side? It's slippy, it's slidey in these conditions, and these appalling conditions on the slicks. Rain falling, but they've got, 3.4 kilometers to do of the Paul Ricard circuit. What are the conditions? Yellow flags. There is Slayer off the road. I think he's just pulling over to let leaders through. I think actually he's spun is the issue for him, actually.
So basically both.
Yes, both is the issue is what he's done. But look at the puddles just forming right now. Are we going to see everyone stay in the position which they are in right now? These will be very nervous times for some of these drivers. Slayer gets a 10 seconds time penalty for exceeding track limits, but through comes then your race lead up through out of Montreal corner. Down to Sheen's corner for the last time. We'll keep an eye on him then as your race lead up. Here he comes, nice and cautiously. Rear end there, sliding a little bit. Keep it nice and cautious. Keep it on the power. Keep it on the island. Here in Paul Ricard, the McLaren team then from Milton. Sorry, not from Milton Keynes. From Woking, England. looking then for victory here. The championship leader came into this race looking to extend. He very much looks like he's going to come out of it then to extend through appalling conditions on the slicks. Through the last corner, the right-hander at Pont. To the line then, as long as he gets it to the line. Nice and cautious, nice and gentle. Chris crosses the line then and wins then here in Paul Ricard. Jasper across the line in second. But where is he going to be as he comes to the line then with a 5-second unserved penalty? Should be, I think, in fourth at the line. Indeed, he does stay fourth at the line then by half a second. Yellow flags fly. That is just Slay getting out the way. Chilling sixth, Mick 7th. Wowster. Ryan from Major Ghost will cross the line in 11th. Ryan B in 12th. Pache in 13th then. 14th for Marty. 15th will be Leddy. That's not worked for him, but it was worth a gamble. If it did pull it down very heavily, it didn't in the end. But, well, it did, but it didn't enough to affect them. Harry and Matt Tibos. And then, of course, Slayer at the back. To retirement, Melty and Naram-Sam. But Chris Lope came into this race just hoping for a victory. He exits this race
He's
very
got
much with 2 victories as Aledi having an issue right now. What's he doing? Doing a bit of spinning across the line right now as he
Oh,
gets
careful, Harry, and he's
Well,
he'll still be still be classified because he's done over 90%.
he has, but that's not going to count though to his position. He won't get points, but he's going to be out of that race because he's not going to finish where he is.
He's going to be 17th.
Yeah,
he's going to finish in 17th.
Yeah, he will be continuing across the line. So that's a little bit of a bugger for him.
Yeah, but the rule is if you've done 90%, if you DNF after you completed 90% of the race, you're still classified.
Yes,
So,
indeed. But your official rundown then of this afternoon's French Grand Prix then in a few moments' time as we head to the podium then. Chris will be, well, hopefully in a few moments' time when the game loads then. There he is then to claim his winner's trophy.
I've got the standings up.
Oh, never mind, we'll just skip to that then, as you always do it.
So, your race results then for the feature race. We got Chris who wins again for Matty, Cam, Jasper, MCR, Chill, Mick, Valter, Ryan Belshaw, Major, Ghost, Ryan B, your top 12 and they're scoring points. And we got Passe, Marty, Aledi, Matt Tibos, Harry F will be 17th. Slayer 18th. Your 2 retirements, Melty and Nansram. Now, whilst I go and set up for my race, Liam, do you want to do interviews?
I think we'll skip the interviews right now because my cough's still a bit hurting.
Alright, okay, that's
But you have got to pick 3 drivers a day.
Oh yeah, good point. Now,
so I'm gonna say Chris, my one.
You've
stolen your one.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Chris as well. I'm gonna go for Jasper. He had a horrible sprint race, but he recovered from 17th up to 4th in the feature. We said he was one of the drivers that needs to do well. So, yeah, one of my drive todays goes to Jasper. A really good race from him.
Yeah, I'm going to say my other one's going to have to be Cam then. A solid drive from 6th to 3rd. And he's doing what he needs to do right now to be in position for this championship. Still a long way to go. But with 8 rounds ahead of the drivers, we will next head to, I believe... Let's see, where are we heading next week? And
let me get the calendar up on my screen. We are heading to Australia. Now, unfortunately, I got some sad news. I'm not going to be here next week.
Yeah, that's very sad. So, hopefully, we'll get it. Chris really wants an interview. He really wants one. Should we give him one?
Go on then, but I need to set up.
Right. We'll find him. Right. You tell him. We'll go and drag him in.
Yeah. So whilst I set up for my race, we'll bring him in.
Yeah, let's go to Division 3. Go on.
There we go. I forgot we weren't in Division 3 comms, to be honest, as well. So I'll tell Chris to go into rating room as well. So what was our driver of the days again? It was Chris, Jasper, and who was the other one? Who? Cam. Okay, I will tell Larkin that right now. Whilst we wait for Chris.
Yep.
Which probably is going to be a while. Apologies, I just had to type something in the chat. They're not wanting to join the interview room at the moment, aren't they? They're just being when we say there's no interviews, then we decide actually we want to do it. They're not here at the moment, so they're gonna come. Now, what can you expect, Liam, about Australia? Because it's newly profiled for this season, and I quite like it. Do you like it? You're good around this track, aren't you?
Australia's a good circuit. I mean, it's quite fun, flowing and fast, and But yeah, we'll see. Of course, it all really depends about it. I mean, you're an expert at Australia.
Yeah, I got my first ever win. I got my first ever league race win in Australia. So there we go. Yes. I'm gutted I'm gonna miss Australia on Saturday, but the main reason why I'm missing, I'm going away on Friday to Sunday. I'm going to Glasgow for the weekend, so that should be fun. Well, we're going to give Chris a couple of minutes because we don't have very long, do we? But whilst we do that, I will try and do all the thank yous and all that. So thank you to everybody that has joined us this race so far. And thank you to all of those who watched post-event. I think we are getting someone, but I will try. And make sure you do follow us on Twitter. I'm at JessGames95 and Liam is at Liam New Region. You can also follow Eloise on Twitter at League of Europe, and also subscribe to our YouTube account if you are new and hit that notification bell. So Cam wants to speak to us. I don't know.
I think people will try and come. We'll give them a few more minutes.
Yeah, but I need to set up, Liam, so you're gonna have to talk for 3 minutes whilst I set it up. Soz.
Right. Well, we'll drag Cam in. He's the only one who joined me, so we'll just drag Cam in and speak to Cam. As per usual, we like speaking to Cam, so we'll drag Cam in because he's the only one who's joined us. Because the leader asked for an interview and hasn't showed up yet, so we'll drag the man who has set up and finished in third. I think it was third, second or third. I can't remember. I think third. I'm pretty certain. I should know this because it just happened. Driver of the day. Well, one of 3 driver of the day. Cam, how did you find out there? 6th on the grid, up to 3rd. How did you find it?
It was good. It was mostly just trying to keep within DRS range of the car ahead, and then just take advantage of all the mistakes from other people and the safety cars, and just keep the car on the track when the rain started to fall.
Yeah, in terms of the rain right at the end of the race, how heavy was it right at the last lap? Because from our perspective, certainly a lot of puddles are starting to form, but how was it for your perspective?
Well, Mark came on the radio as I was coming on to lap 27 to tell me to box for inters, so it didn't feel that bad, to be honest. There was still enough grip at the very least, but yeah, if the race was 30 laps, we probably would have had to go to the inters.
Yeah, most certainly indeed. And in terms of this championship, of course, I believe, in theory, you should be moving up to 2nd. Don't quote me on that.
He might.
I think you should actually move up to 2nd in the title right now. Chris, of course, leads it so far, but 8 races to go. I mean, this championship all's to play for as you head to the next couple of races. How are you starting to feel?
Well, I want to say good, but I also don't want to get my hopes up. Good for now. We'll see what happens. There's some tracks coming up that I'm not too keen on, but you never know what might happen.
You never know what happened. Like you said at the beginning of the season, you weren't expecting to win the US Tour, and you did win the US Tour. So anything can happen for you, and it very much certainly does. But we'll see in due course. But I'm sad, Jess, because Chris, who said he wanted an interview, then we're giving him an interview, and he's just not showed up. So really, he's not getting an interview again now.
He's probably going to ask us in a minute's time, and it's like, no.
Too late now.
Yeah, too late.
We were waiting for 5-6 minutes, and he didn't show up. So yeah, I'll let you round it off, Jess, because I don't think if he shows up just as we end, I'm going to cry.
Well, we hope not. So, thank you guys for watching. Liam and someone, we don't know who it's going to be yet, will join you next week in Australia for the Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park. Make sure to tune in then. And in just under 15 minutes' time, we've got Division 2 and Division 4 doing their sprint races and feature race around Paul Ricard as well. We will see how well they do. And you can probably watch me bottle because I don't like France. So, thank you for listening. We will see you next week in Australia for Division 3. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.